We had a short break in between for a few weeks because we now plan to do every fortnight. So every 15 days, we will have a GPSC webinar. As you know, my dear friends, the GPSC is an organization of 35 elite schools of Gurgaon who are working together promoting holistic education. So we also focus on a number of inter-school events for teachers, for students, for faculty, and this GPSC webinar series is one of them. Today, our topic is art integration, and we have decided that every fortnight we would be picking up topics from the different themes of CBSE, the contemporary topics, so that we can revise them, read them carefully, and understand their true essence. And for this, my dear friends, I have a request to make. It is that all of you must read these manuals before coming for this webinar. Then only these webinars are going to be fruitful. And once the webinar ends, when we all go back, we must ensure that we have discussions in our school. We discuss with our faculty, we discuss the takeaways, and then ensure that these things are all taken up in the school. Otherwise, there is no purpose of these webinars. I welcome my esteemed panelists today, Mrs. Anita Makkar, Education Leader, the HTFC School, and Niti Mishra, Principal, DPS, Sector 45, Gurugram. I welcome both the panelists. Mrs. Makkar is a renowned educationist, a visionary who needs no introduction. She was one of the founder members of GPSC and has had a very, very long innings in Gurgaon education field. A national awardee, she has contributed a lot in the field of education. Ms. Aditi Mishra, alumna of LSR, who again is a CBSE awardee, again a person who has really worked very hard for education, not only in GPSC but in NPSC also. I welcome both of you, ma'am, to this.
Thank you.
I also welcome Ms. Alka Singh, Principal, Bluebells Model School, Sector 4, Gurugram, as the moderator of the session today. So over to you, Alka, for the proceedings.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll start with one sentence. Stop teaching, start reaching. We have come a long way from identifying students who are considered to be intelligent as they understood what the teacher was teaching on the blackboard, to now what it is, understanding that each child is unique and has different ways of learning, moving from rote learning to experiential learning, understanding the differences and similarities. As an educator, our goal is to create leaders, learners who love to learn. Now, give it a thought like, what is the goal? What do you want from the students? Students who learn to use the resources around them. We want them to read something and see something they're interested in and follow up on it. We want them to have an idea and get onto the phone and call people they can talk to about it, or pick up a book, or read more about it, or sit down in one corner and read about it, or write about it. When we imagine our students as adults, how do we imagine? We imagine a person who's a thinker, a doer, and who follows his or her passion. Ultimately, if you look at it, education is not about filling up a pail, but it is about lighting up a fire. I'm sure each one of us who are attending this webinar today, or webinar of art integration, we have the same common goal, what we are talking about, that our students should be visionaries, should be doers, should be actually passionate about what they're doing. Each child is an artist. If you look at it, there's some art form in each child. Art integration learning is the pedagogy of experiential learning. What we talk about right now, what CBSE has been talking about, what Sahodaya has been talking about, that is a move towards experiential learning. Pedagogy where art becomes the basis of teaching. Art integration encourages differentiated learning with a focus on multiple intelligences. Art reaches students who are not otherwise being reached in ways they are otherwise not being reached. So this is one way of reaching each one. The effect and impact of pedagogy cannot be achieved through theoretical interaction only. for 100% participation. And I'm sure each educator, that is what we want, 100% participation from each child. We have to adopt art integrated learning. We have to move towards it. Although we are doing it, when we're going to hear from my eminent panelist, we are already doing it, but the right way of doing it. There's always this fear of unknown. What is it, art integrated learning? So let's overcome it today and find out various ways of incorporating art in our teaching. And we have our expert panelists, Anita Makkar ma'am and Aditi Mishra ma'am, with us. Now, when we talk about each document which comes to us, as Aparna ma'am was saying, when we get a document, we should go through it. So all the documents are self-explanatory. But when we're talking about implementation and interpretation or perception about a document, it is always when we do the groundwork, when each educationist out here on ground, when they're actually implementing, there's a different experience which comes. So that is why we are together today, to learn how it can be implemented and what is the right way. And when it was implemented, what is the outcome? What is the learning outcome of the same? And I think this one webinar actually is going to, there's so many challenges what the educators are facing. So all the challenges would go away. And feel free to put up the questions to us such that each query what you have, each question mark what you have out there can be taken away. Now I would request our eminent panelist, Anita Makkar ma'am, to deconstruct the art integration document for a better understanding. Anita Makkar ma'am.
Thank you, Alka, and thank you, Aparna. It's really a pleasure to be amongst your own friends and colleagues. And we have been together for so long. It looks like a family of educationists. And let me tell you, the way Gurgaon has progressed. Since 1985, I have seen the progress of Gurgaon. And at times I feel that I should have written a book about it, the evolution of education in Gurgaon. What it is today. Really feel proud to be associated with Gurgaon schools. Reason being, the Gurgaon schools are so progressive. Whatever new initiative is taken either by CBSE or outside, so all the schools, they really take those best practices and implement into their curriculum. Now, when Alka said that we don't have to teach, but we have to reach. Now, that's really, really significant in today's context when we are also having virtual classes. Every information, everything is available on the net. So what is required? The personal touch, the personal, to create passion for learning, and then find out the ways how it should be done. So why this art integration has started now? We all know there was experiential learning, then art education was a part of it. And during the course of this presentation, we'll come across earlier, which was called as SUPW, CBSE, I called it as SEVA, Social Empowerment Through Work and Action. And somewhere, then multiple intelligence also came into being. So everything is all together when we are transacting a curriculum. And specifically to lay emphasis on art integration, CBSE has come up with a document and was really worried that it shouldn't get lost somewhere in the virtual classes so that everybody gets to know. Because at the end of the day, grade 10 and 12 students, they won't be able to download their admit cards unless we put up these evidences on CBSE side that, okay, we have done art integration in our regular day-to-day teaching. So it's very important we understand what art integration is. And before I start with my presentation, I was going through some material, learning material. So there was a research done in US. A small child of KG was asked to draw a butterfly. So the child drew the body, the antennas and the wings, and it was taken again to the next level, to the next level. By the time child reached grade 4, the child was asked what you have observed during these times, how your drawing and painting of butterfly has changed. And what was the answer? I could see both the sides angles are same. where it is rounded, why it is rounded, where the straight lines and those angles between two straight lines on two wings, they are same. So this is how the child observed and learnt about mathematics and geometry. So this is how we have to ensure that our children also are able to think on those lines and are able to correlate as well. So thank you. With your permission, I'll try to take not more than 15 minutes. Aditi, do I have your permission? Aditi, you are on mute.
I'm mute. Absolutely, Mrs. Makkar. We are in this together.
Yeah. So I'll start. Has gone my presentation. Here is it. Can you see? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, I'll put it on slideshow. So art integration is a pedagogical tool for experiential and joyful learning, as we have already spoken about it. Art is not only confined to, sometimes somebody, once long back, somebody asked me, what do you understand by art education? So it was only painting, that is visual art. So let us see that it is not only visual art, it is dance, drama, theater, even poetry. How you express your thoughts, that is a form of art. And we can teach every subject, right from languages to science, mathematics to social science, everything can be taught. And if you see in the olden, the Archaeological Survey of India puts it on its sites, what they have found, artifacts from eras gone by. From those artifacts, they are able to find out the living style of people of those times, the culture, the business that they used to do, the agriculture. So it depicts everything. So it is, unless we tell our children what is the importance of art, they will not be able to appreciate why should they learn art. So it includes all forms of visual, performing arts, music, dance, drawing, painting, theater, sculpting, and craft. What is art integrated education? I have already spoken about it. Art is to be embedded into our subjects. I'll make it more clear with my certain examples. But for sure, as Alka also mentioned in her first address, it is not a replacement of art education. It happens when students have been directly taught the art. So it is very important that we teach them art also, and we teach our other subjects also through art. So what do we need? That means our teachers should be creative enough to visualize that how to teach a particular subject using which art form. And for that, the art form also has, that art also needs to be taught to these children. And it would need a lot of cooperation, collaboration between all faculty members and teachers who are teaching different forms of art. So integration happens when students have been directly taught art. Without the background knowledge, neither the students nor the teachers can integrate arts into curriculum. For example, notes in classical music can be aligned with teaching of fractions. However, without the knowledge of notes, students won't be able to comprehend the link between the two. I know fractions, but I do not know music. If somebody, and for a person who is learning music, it's so helpful to know mathematics about it. And mathematics and music, they go together so well. And you must have seen children who are good in music, they're really good in maths also. So it is important that we teach them art also, and we teach them the subjects also along with that. Now, why it is necessary has been stated earlier. It promotes experiential learning. Students derive meaning and understanding from their experiences. It makes learning joyful, broadens the mind and enables them to see multidisciplinary links between topics, subtopics, and real life. Also develops certain life skills, communication skills, reflection, inquiry skills, and they really get a lot of joy when they are learning any form of art and they're able to integrate with their subjects. So children apply art-based inquiry, investigation, exploration, critical thinking, and creative thinking, and understanding of concepts. So this is one example of what we can teach metallurgy in chemistry or mitosis or meiosis in biology. But if we create a script and ask children to put it as a play or a nukkad natak, how would they do it? So this is a suggestion. We can see that there are so many examples. I'll come to the next slide where it is beautifully explained. Now, this is chemistry. We all have done periodic tables during our student life, whatever, whether we pursued science or not. So these are elements of a periodic table. Magnesium. Its small poem is written here. Child of aging stars, however brightly you burn, they will never return. It is so beautiful, you can appreciate it. Why magnesium? This small poem is associated with magnesium. I tell you this I also learned from my chemistry teacher. Because magnesium is a main component of aging stars. When aging stars, they contain helium and carbon. And aging stars, when they are about to explode, they burn very bright. And when an explosion takes place, magnesium is born. So that's why it is called child of aging stars. However brightly you burn, they will never return, because aging stars would not return. So magnesium would go into space and then create more stars. So if these poems are learnt by children, I'll take these three examples. Lithium, lighter than water, empower my phone, my car, banish depression. It is lithium because density is less than water, so it floats on water. And we all know that batteries, whether it's a telephone battery, car battery, all the batteries are made of lithium. They empower my phone, my car, banish depression. Now, how depression is connected with this? Because in antidepressant medicines, a very small quantity of lithium is used. Then it goes to a nervous system. Then it produces adrenaline, which makes us calm. So with these 2233 lines, we are telling them about the properties, what they are. Then another is nitrogen. It is forever there, from air to soil to roots, crop, us, exercise, addict. Now, nitrogen is everywhere. So with rains, it comes down, it comes to the soil, and soil, it gets converted into nitrates. Nitrates go into plants, and of course we all consume plants. So again, it comes back to us. So this is a cycle. Exercise addict. Because most of the people who are into exercising, they take proteins or otherwise also proteins. And nitrogen is a main component of protein. So if while teaching chemistry, these are very easy to remember, children would really enjoy reciting them also. So this is one example that how we can use, this is an art form, poetry is an art form. This is creativity as well. So this is one thing I thought I was really happy to share this slide with everybody to spend a little more time on this. Then NCF 2005 states that art as a subject at all stages is recommended, covering all major spheres. I would not read all the slides word by word, but you please go through it. And as Aparna already said, that please read the manual word by word to appreciate and understand it. So we must bring the arts squarely into the domain of the curricula, infusing interest in different areas of learning while giving them an identity of their own at relevant stages. Children must develop skills and abilities in arts. Through arts curriculum, children must be introduced to the rich and varied diversity of the country. Arts education should become both a tool and subject, taught as a compulsory subject till grade 10. Now we all have to integrate art as a subject till grade 10 because, and then you would, maybe once you sit with your teams, you would find that how to get those number of periods from the regular timetable, because you cannot merge it with art education. So that is a task for everybody to take care. Then what is the roadmap? What is the roadmap? Every school shall compulsorily assign 2 periods per week for art education. It should cover music, dance, visual arts, theater. Then it can include the culinary art form. When I was reading this culinary art form, when I was a student in grade 6, 7, 8, home science used to be a subject and it used to be a compulsory subject. So today culinary art is also a form of art. So you have to somewhere integrate this also in the school curriculum. So it is recommended that classes 6 to 8, that is upper primary, should be introduced to culinary arts. So this is what the CBSE mandate is. Arts must be integrated with teaching and learning of all academic subjects for grades 1 to 12. So if we are able to do till grade 10, 11th and 12th would be easy. Then it is art integrated. Sorry to speak in between, Rashmi ma'am. There is always a message on the screen that 2 people have entered the waiting room for this meeting. So again and again it is coming. There are some people in the
I'll just check because you're the host, no? That's the reason it's coming.
Okay,
Taking care of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So AIL will continue as a pedagogical tool for classes 1 to 12 and under core scholastic areas as provided in the secondary school curriculum. Reporting of implementation of art education and art integrated learning is mandatory. Board has prepared AE and AIL portal for reporting of the implementation of art education and art integrated learning. The schools, this is very important slide and I would say that everybody must be noting it down. Art integrated learning, the schools are required to assign, because somewhere I am not able to read this, art education and art integrated learning projects of students in the CBSE portal, and the link is given here. So everyone has to upload on the CBSE portal the evidences that we have integrated art in our day-to-day teaching learning process of class 10th and 12th. Schools may follow the below mentioned steps for uploading the data in the AE and AIL portal 6.1. The required data regarding implementation of art education and art integrated project up to grade 10 and up to grade 12 are to be uploaded by the school to enable it to download admit cards for classes 10th and 12th exams of the board. The report format of data submitted to be submitted is available at Annexure 3. So you have to see the Annexure 3 of the manual. So these are the objectives of art integration. So we all have, I think we all can go through it, and we know also, or must be knowing, but still okay. Quickly, I'll read out some. Introduce students to different media and techniques to provide opportunities for development of awareness about our folklores and culture. Enable students to use artistic and aesthetic sensibility in real life. Develop appreciation of culture and national heritage. To get acquainted with the life and work of local artists. To use resourcefully the locally available material. To refine, I think basically it boils down to refine the sense of appreciation of the beauty of nature in various forms. And it definitely affects anybody's personal life also. You would have finer sensibilities. You would start respecting others more. You would appreciate everything. So develop creative and critical thinking skills, an inquisitive attitude, and the ability to do art-based inquiry. So another question can be, is art integration the same as work education? It is, here it is, creative art is having the ability to create originality of thought or inventiveness, showing imagination through a creative mind. And work education is an important part of student life, learning. And objective is to increase curiosity, observations, moral values through various physical activities. You go out, appreciate nature, you learn a lot from nature, and you do some manual work also. Work education is also doing, again, it is comparable to socially useful productive work. It gives respect and dignity to various kinds of works. Then sources of art teaching. I'll just ethos of the region to be reflected in choosing the activity. So right now, it is, I'll tell you in a nutshell, when we are in Haryana now, we have to know the various art forms of Haryana, the culinary art also, the paintings also, the dance forms also, folklores also, folk music also. And at the same time, we must know about Telangana also. And there is a table given in the manual where you are given the states, what you can learn about those states and their art forms. So please go through that table to really understand and implement. Then it is, what were the principles of integration? It stimulates all senses. Learning is transdisciplinary. Learning is inclusive. Then it is actively built. Learning must be experiential. So evolve through this collaborative teaching learning to be practiced, collaborative teaching. It must be the result. It should result in problem solving and reflection. So the objective is to seamlessly integrate art without generating pressure on the learner. On the contrary, I find that children would really enjoy this. As right in the beginning, I told you the example of a butterfly. So if a child can learn mathematics, science, social science, the life cycle of a butterfly through art form, what other can be a better way to learn about it? Now, these are certain examples, art integrated activities which can be done in the school. In mathematics, mathematics, I would say that you see everywhere, in architecture, temples, or old buildings, palaces, they all have mathematics in them. All those geometrical patterns, they are derived from mathematics, and then they are given a definite form in the form of an art. So this is one example of algebra. I'll rather like to take you to another example. This is congruence of triangles. Now, if you look at congruence, we teach congruence of triangles, and if we integrate Worldly art with this, which Worldly art only takes triangles when it uses lots of triangles, making a Worldly art. And it is such a joyful activity. They can decorate their homes, their classrooms, even their notebook covers. So, and not only once they start doing it, they would learn maths also better. What is congruency? What is, then it can go to different next level, the similar triangles or similar shapes. Then line drawings, they all have been derived keeping in mind the mathematics. So this is one thing we have to ensure that our teachers, subject teachers who are teaching various subjects, first, they also learn. Only then they will be able to teach. I think GPSC can now, keeping this as a background, we can create certain seminars or workshops where we take particular topics and where we can, how we can integrate different art forms into our school teaching. Then this is, they are dancing and they are making 3D shapes. But then with this, if a dance teacher has to create a dance form, has to choreograph a dance, she needs to know if these many children are there, how much area would be required for all the hands and foot movements, how the children can move around, how much area would they be covering. And also it gives a shape of, it gives idea about 3D shapes as well. So these are a few examples that I have taken, and the tessellation, tiles and tessellation we teach in grade 3 also. If you see how those patterns are made in the olden, old buildings, many palaces, you go to Jaipur, in the floors, you would find all these patterns. At that time also, they knew how to integrate geometry into their patterns, because there is a tile and tessellation. I tell you, this is a beautiful topic that we start in grade 3 and it goes on and on, whether you teach polygons in senior classes or any geometrical form. And that can create a really love for learning the subjects as well. So these are certain, it is given in the, this weekend. I would like to, this is impulsive and non-impulsive forces in grade 9. These are all, these are just glimpses that you can see that the manual contains many examples of various subjects. So it would become easy for all of us to integrate art into our subjects. Then these are the physical, this is about metals and non-metals. I tell you, you can, if you use these art forms, it would be a cakewalk for them to understand metals and non-metals. So I will not spend more time on this. I would rather like to now ask Aditi to give her own insights, because Aditi is also very much involved with the art. So Aditi, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Makkar. I'll have to seek your help to move the slides.
Sure,
so
sure.
We had divided between the two of us, because her, Anita ma'am's subjects are maths and science, and I am a student of social studies, history to be particular. So, you know, in English, Hindi, Sanskrit, and all the foreign languages, you can integrate art in so many ways, beginning with, of course, visual art. So as you can see over here, we've designed book covers. We've given the children a poem to write, and we've asked them to draw So what makes it joyous, like Mrs. Makkar was saying, is that there is no judgment. How each child perceives a particular poem can be different, can be completely opposed to each other, and can be extremely beautiful. So the moment the child sees an assessment which is non-judgmental and non-comparative, it obviously brings a lot of joy into the classroom. Can I have the next slide, ma'am? So this was again something which we did. We had a poem and the children painted on this. We've also asked them to set poems to music. So here, when we talk about music, as Mrs. Makkar said, we bring in maths, we bring in, of course, art, and we bring in literature because the poem is being written down. We also use a lot of dramatization and role play while the child is, studying the languages, because you can ask them to talk about a particular character they've read about. When they read a story, they can think of alternative endings to that. So there is a world of joy and creativity within art integration in the languages. Can I have the next slide, ma'am?
Yes.
Now about SST. For example, if you take civics across, again, a lot of role play in teaching them about democracy. You can hold elections inside the classroom. You can have rights and duties as personalized items. Each child becomes a certain right and let him or her choose the corresponding duty. So again, learning is happening, but in the most experiential and in the most fun way possible. Art and history is, of course, appreciation of our heritage. There is so much rich art, architecture in our country that I think you start from one end of the country to the other end. One lifetime is not enough for that. Geography is appreciation of art forms based on resources of a particular area. Like, why is it that in the Northeast, most of the art is made out of bamboo? Because that is a resource available over there. Why is it that in the areas of Rajasthan and Gujarat, there is a lot of work which is done with sand? Because that is available in plenty over there. So likewise, teaching the children without mugging it up, they can understand why art of a particular place looks like a particular place. And the next slide, please. As Mrs. Makkar mentioned, we're having a lot of fun with this right now. Haryana and Telangana have been sort of twins together. So these are very typical puppets which are made in Telangana. As you can see, these have been made by the children inside their homes with the teacher, of course, guiding them and telling them what to do. So how does the fun come in? This has a lot of maths in it because you have to measure how much should the torso be, how long should the legs be, it should not be disproportionate. Each puppet then becomes a person. It could be the child himself or herself talking about Corona, talking about lockdown, talking about cooking, talking about poetry, talking about football. They can do what they want. The puppet does not necessarily have to conform to a particular character, so to say. Also, we use these puppets a lot of time, again, multidisciplinary, in teaching them history. So one puppet could become Akbar, and the child, whoever has made Akbar and talked about him, is unlikely to forget about that particular character. So this is how some of the art activities have been carried out in the school and have brought in a lot of joy and a lot of fun into the teaching learning process. Thank you.
So Aditi, when you said that you can use these puppets, I remember in grade 8, although I studied only history till grade 8, but of course it's so interesting that now I miss learning history more, but I try to make it up. But we really had a teacher who would bring alive Akbar, Mughal, Akbar and Shah Jahan, and the way he would speak and what the way he would do. So that is the dramatization of that story. And
absolutely.
I still remember. So all these history can be taught with a lot of dramatization.
Precisely. I mean, you bring drama, music, art into the classroom. I mean, art integrated learning is now being documented and being made into a manual, and as guidelines have been sent. But I was just sharing with Alka and Aparna and all before the session started that as a very young teacher in the 80s and 90s, when this was not spoken about, as a history teacher, I brought a lot of music into the classroom. When we did Bhakti and Sufi, I would force them to learn some bhajan, some Sufi song. And Sufi music was not even very popular then. It was not very well known, not very fashionable, so to say. But there, there had been movies like Garam Hawa, which had a beautiful Qawwali in it. It was very Sufi in its rendition. I used to teach them Sagun and Nirgun Bhakti, which is part of Hindi. So Hindi, history, music, art, everything came together. And I think those children remembered those lessons for the longest time. So I think teaching learning is more fruitful and long lasting if the element of fun comes in.
Absolutely. And today when we talk about interdisciplinary learning, cross-cultural learning, so it is all, I think somewhere we are using it, but maybe we are not giving it that shape or not taking it seriously.
I think one of the questions Alka has is about that. So I think we can stop the screen sharing and we can
thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Makar. This was really enlightening.
Thank you, Anita ma'am. This was, I think, for the audience and all the teachers and the leaders, it gave a lot of clarity to everyone. Now, I'm just asking a few questions out here, ma'am, related to this presentation.
Yes.
Although we did talk about saying that there's a difference between art education and art integrated learning. So can you just elaborate a little bit more, Aditi ma'am, on the same? And along with that, just a little more clarity is where we said that 2 periods per week per class for art education. There are times when some of the educators, they get a little bit confused related to, is it that we need to give art 2 period? So if you can just talk about.
So art education is distinct from art integrated learning. Art education, as the name suggests, is educating the child about art. So when you're educating the child about art, he is taught to draw, he's asked to paint, he's given topics to paint on, he is, taught how to draw lines, how to use colors, how are colors made, what are primary colors. It is all about art, Art, there's somebody's mic is on and it's disturbing. Can we stop the screen sharing, please?
I stopped it.
If you can just stop the screen sharing. Stop. You can just go up and.
Yes, I have stopped sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Nice to see everybody's face now. So art education is educating the child about art, about the various painters, various styles, art as a subject, that means. Now, not all children are artistically inclined. We accept that also. So to teach them even art appreciation, let them look at a painting and be able to identify, oh, this is a Jamini Roy. Oh, this looks very, very like Monet. That is good enough. It's an education which is wholesome. Art education should not mean that everybody can become a great painter. Much like music education, much like dance education, not everybody is into dance and music. Some children can't sing, but they should be able to recognize and appreciate. Not everything that you do is only what you can appreciate. You should be able to see and learn from other things also. Art integrated learning is, of course, integrating forms of art into the classroom, into the normal so-called academic subjects. So you pick out, let me reassure you that it's not that every topic has to be integrated with art. Some topics cannot be. Let us understand that there are some topics that don't lend themselves to any kind of artistic representation. But where you can use, in those places, art should be used in all the various forms, like Mrs. Makar had written down: theatre, music, dance, visual art, sculpture, painting, everything possible should be used in whichever topic it lends itself to. So this is the one basic difference. In the timetable, of course, the timetable has sort of flown out of the window with the online classes. But the idea, we should not compartmentalize brains ki do ghante karna hai isko. It is how much you do, not how many hours you spend on it. So it could be just putting the seed of integrated learning into the child's mind. For example, in class 4 and in class 6, I think in science, they do a balanced diet. Yes, let the child make a salad. Let him actually write down the ingredients. What did he use? How much of protein was in that salad? How much of carbohydrate did it contain? Did it have enough minerals and vitamins? It's got maths inside. It's got science inside. It's got the beauty of art inside. Plus, make them write it down. English also comes in. So one little thing like this will be, the teacher, if she wishes to assess, can assess 4 dimensions of a child's learning in that one activity. And it may take 2 hours between you and me. If a child gets down to making a salad, 2 ghante pakka lagenge and all that, cutting and putting things together, it will happen. But it need not mean 2 hours of the teaching periods to be going into that, because we've got also guidelines about how much time the child should be in front of the television and in front of a screen.
Absolutely.
Right?
Got it. Thank you so much, ma'am. I think this gave a lot of clarity. And what is the best thing, what I could see was you said art education means appreciating. It's not necessary that we need to be a good singer or we need to be a good artist. It's like
that is appreciating it. Recognition and appreciation is very, very important. I think that is what a teacher can do. That's what the love for a subject can come without really getting into it as an expert.
Absolutely. Thank you, ma'am. There's one more myth, generally what the teachers and the educators would have, the art integrated learning. So I would request Anita ma'am to break that myth, saying that we won't be able to cover the complete syllabus what we have planned in case we integrate art in our curriculum. So Anita ma'am, if you can just break this myth completely.
Alka, this all came when it was activity-based learning, experiential learning, collaborative learning. Though all those apprehensions were there also at that time. How are we going to complete the syllabus? The first thing one thing that I would like to share with everybody, we should not be obsessed with teaching the curriculum. And I think in all the workshops, everybody says we are teaching children. We are not teaching curriculum. So one is, once we stop getting obsessed with completing the curriculum, and let me assure you, if we are integrating art, this would make our work easy also. Children would learn faster. Now, it takes me back to those kindergarten years. Now, kindergarten years, we start with more of coloring, more of singing rhymes. So what is it? It stays with them. So does it take more time for them to learn language, or does it take more time to learn numeracy? So if we integrate art, it becomes, in the beginning, it might be a little difficult for teachers because they themselves have to visualize also. For this, you need that visualization part as well. So once we are able to visualize this topic, as Aditi said, not that every topic you can relate with one or the other art form. So, but as far as possible, we should see that which topics can be related with one or the other art form. And then we think of it, we learn ourselves, and then we teach our children. But then this is about our professional growth also. Either if we have to move ahead as good teachers, good learners, and we want our children to learn about art integration and how we make them learn, create that passion of learning. So we all have to go a little extra mile.
Thank you, ma'am. I think that is why we say that educators are lifelong learners. Like yes. For us also, that is how we are ever evolving and progressing towards whatever new is coming. One question, Aditi ma'am, when we are talking about art integrated learning, so we have to identify also, we are relating it to differentiated learning, multiple intelligences. So what are the best teaching techniques and tools that to identify the specific style of learning or the intelligence of a child for an educator? And how can the educator plan the classroom transaction accordingly? Like if you can just give some inputs on this.
So the good news is that CWSN, children with special needs, are being taught without being asked to learn. You know, in art, there is no learning. There is just joy. There is just happiness and there is no judgment. The moment we bring in judgment that, okay, if you do it, if you sing a certain note this way, it's right, that note is wrong. Or if you paint the sky blue, it's fine. But if you paint it purple, which it is in the evening, then it's wrong. Then comes the worry, then comes the fear, then comes the indecision to do something. Mm-hmm. So we have normally found over the past many years that the children with special needs respond beautifully to all forms of art. They may or may not be able to, if they have motor problems, they may not be able to dance very well, but they enjoy it. And they will participate with gusto. And there is a certain beauty in the dance which every educator can see. So if an educator wishes to include any particle of art into that lesson, into that module, she or he will find that the art bit is understood completely by the children with special needs who are in the inclusion groups. The others may still hesitate. You know, if you ask them to start singing, some children become very shy, very self-conscious. But a child with special needs will get up and start singing whatever he knows. You know, you will find that hesitation does not exist. And the moment those barriers are broken, learning will become joyous and will become more fruitful for everybody again. I'm using those words again and again, I recognize. But I do know that art brings in joy.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think that is why we say that art leads to joy of learning.
So if I may just interrupt you 1 minute and just say where the fear comes from. The fear resides in the teacher. Especially now, I must really hats off to all the teachers, not just of Gurgaon, not just of India, but across the globe, who have just moved to online teaching as a fish takes to water. Hats off to each one of them. But in that scenario, in that slightly contrived scenario, to now bring in art may be a bit of a problem. So the teacher really has to reinvent herself. She has to think ahead. She has to collaborate. There's no harm in picking up the phone and asking the art teacher that I'm going to be teaching this. Is there any form of art I can bring in? Is there any dance, any music, any theater input which I can bring in? If she doesn't want to ask, just go to Google. You will find such a wealth of information, such a wealth of resources that it will be surprising every teacher.
Agree, ma'am. Agree, absolutely. And I think we have so many questions out here, but we are running out of time. And believe me, ma'am, I think each one of us out here could get art integration in the right essence. Like what are we talking about? There was this little fear, little apprehension, I think each one of us we had. And we say that the principals are pedagogical leaders. So right now, like, I think, we keep the thinking hats on and start on. Like whatever we are doing, although we are doing a lot, but then is bringing it up together under one roof, saying art integrated learning. And best what I like from, I was about to ask, how about a maths teacher, when ma'am said that knowing musical notes, or a dance teacher knowing maths. I think it's all about collaboration, and which is the need of the hour. I think this is all about collaborative learning. And ma'am, when you said before ending, I would say there was this study which was done in US, where they said that there are a lot of dropouts after high school. So what they saw that the students who are learning with art integrated learning, like, the art was integrated in the learning part, the dropouts were less as compared to the ones where the art was not integrated in the learning part. I think from here we get it. What is most important is that identifying how art can be integrated in whatever ways we can. And for that, as Aditi ma'am just said, we reinvent, and that is what the teachers and we all educators are for. So thank you so much, Anita ma'am and Aditi ma'am. And I would request all the audience also right now, any queries, feel free to ask our eminent panelist at any point of time. The time is short right now, but otherwise we are lifelong learners, and we have these, I would say, mentors with us who are always there, hand-holding us, taking us in the right direction. So thank you so much. Aparna ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Aparna, Rashmi. Thank you so much. So it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can I just pitch in? I don't know if I'm audible. I just want to say art is a part and parcel of life. It cannot be separated from anything that we do, right from breathing to sleeping. Everything is mathematics, science, sociology. I am Dipali Bose from Sun City School. According to me, art is a part and parcel of life. It cannot be separated. It is up to the teacher how we integrate it with anything and everything that we teach.
Thank you, Aparna. I think absolutely correct. That is how we started, that every child is an artist. So,
thank you.
I would like to thank Aditi ma'am and Makar ma'am and Alka for moderating the session. And my dear friends, we are all one big family. Any doubts anywhere, they can be handled. In Gurgaon, all schools work together in collaboration. And see you not next Friday, but the Friday after that, after 2 weeks, come up with another interesting theme. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.